Hello? Hello? Hello?
I can hear you.
Now I can hear
Yay. Can you hear me? Hello. Is this thing on?
you. Our generation can't not say, can you? I guess multiple generations are not even the same, but can't not say, can you hear me now?
Right. That guy, Trader, went from Verizon to Sprint. Can you hear me now? You know, reading the beginning of the concordance is a good way to get in the Dark Tower mood. Robin got all kind of crazy.
It's all about the Dark Tower, so I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, but she just like talks about all this, I don't know, stuff you don't think of. I mean, it says it right here. Allie's not here yet, so Ka is a wheel. Its one purpose is to turn. The spin of Ka always brings us back to the same place to face and reface our mistakes and defeats until we can learn from them. Oh, there it is right there.
Yeah, but like all of those signs are right there if you like know what you're looking for.
I know.
That's why it's kind of fun.
I'm saying, like, I like Robin figuring it out for me, and I just get to read what she figured out.
It was
Hello.
Hello.
You are so I didn't actually do reading. Did anything important happen?
You didn't what?
You're so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess you might as well just go, huh? Well, and my kitty cat died, so I had 3 deaths this time.
Yeah. Wait, like actually?
Yeah, like in real life, in Keystone.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm sad. He's a cool cat. A lot of personality. He's everywhere in this damn house, and we're trying to, you know.
That's true.
I don't feel like erasing her just yet because that's what it feels like. That makes me sad. So there's like tissue paper in every room, and you know, mouses in every room. Remember, you know what it looks like. It still looks like. So, yes. So, anyway, back to fiction.
You'll be remembering all 3 of them.
Right, they'll always be linked together now. Good thing I didn't name her Oi.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oi is still alive. Right, go Oi.
Man,
I'm actually a little surprised. Not gonna lie.
Why are you surprised? You thought he would like die?
Yeah, I mean he's probably one of the like least important main characters.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like of the quartet to be left. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I am glad he's still alive.
I mean, if Suzanne is still alive, if we want to go least important.
Well, okay.
I'll put Oi ahead of Susanna.
Oi does not fight quite as efficiently as Susanna does, though.
Well, is it a bug or a person?
Right.
Or code-ass monster or whatever we're going to end up seeing.
He does say that Jake gave him something to do before he died.
I think one of them said that. I think that's the only reason he didn't like lay down and die next to Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He had to tell him about Dandolo.
Yeah.
Which seemed really complicated, like chain of events there. Like somebody couldn't tell Roland himself; they had to keep telling each other. Went from like one dying person to the next dying person.
Yeah.
Well, Allie, I feel like we should hear your thoughts first.
Let's just, yeah, go with. We'll start where you want, but I was going to say try one at a time. I don't know if you can process it all at once.
I think Jake's death definitely hit me harder. Just because he was younger and I felt like he was kind of like more essential to the concept than anyone else because he was so strong with the touch and all of that.
Yeah.
Also, it was not as expected for me.
But yeah, he kind of had a little misdirection there because Roland was prepared to die.
Yeah, and again, I think Roland has to be at the tower at the end, so I don't think he will die until they get there at least. But
I was so the front like I kind of felt Jake more this time because like he was my favorite this time. God, he had been through the most. He had like the most unfair, I guess, journey out of all of them. Between the monster house and fucking Benny Slightman, and it just goes on and on for him.
yeah.
But the first time through, I really liked Eddie and I really identify with that character, and I was still like, what the fuck just happened? And then Jake died. Like I didn't even feel that. I was still numb from the first one.
Yeah, that's my experience too. Like the first time when Eddie died, it caught me so off guard. Like I think I reread it like 5 times and I was like, this isn't happening. And I was sobbing. Like I was standing there reading and sobbing. I can still picture where I was when it happened. And then
you sent me a text. I think I remember that. You're like, not Eddie.
It's not fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when Jake dies so quickly afterward, the first time around, I remember just being like, I mean, this is horrible, but like I was so heartbroken. I didn't even care. I was like, whatever, just be done already.
Right. I mean, like, how many times is Jake gonna die? I don't even care anymore. We've been through this before.
But this time, knowing what was gonna happen, I think, like you said, Jake actually became my favorite character. And so even though I knew he was gonna die, and when he was gonna die, it hit me so hard. Like it was so much worse than the first time.
Yeah, I was almost crying over Jake this time.
Oh, I was, and I was crying afterward when like Oi was upset, and like their reactions were killing me too. I'm like, guys, stop.
Yeah.
Oil was bad.
I think part of me being so upset about Jake's death, I mean, I liked him as a character, and he had been through so much for just being, essentially a kid. But yeah, Oi's reaction and Roland's reaction made it that much worse. Like and unfortunately, I was reading that at work, so I was in drive-through sobbing. And I was like, oh god, I hope no one comes up right now.
Right? Maybe we should have put an NSFW on that one. Right?
Yeah.
It's powerful. Oh.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
I mean, I think even Roland said like it was the only time where he like would have given up the quest, or like something about he would have given it all back to have Jake back. And I'm like, I've never heard him say that before.
Yeah. Even when Eddie died, like
Right.
there was talk of, we shouldn't go on, we can't go on. It's like we've come to this point, we have to keep going. But with Jake, he was like, I didn't realize what I was giving up.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel bad for him. I gotta tell you.
Oh, I don't feel bad for him. I'm just saying his reaction made me feel Jake's death more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the narrator, I guess this is Stephen King, is kind of like when Eddie dies, he's like, just as grandpa Jeffords had known that he would, from the first moment he laid eyes on him, the boy was a gunslinger, say true, and it was the only end that one such as he could expect.
Did he say that?
Yeah. Well, the narrator says
Eddie.
When Eddie dies,
I thought you said
he first gets shot and he's like he can't see, but he's still kind of standing up, and he's like he took a step a third and then fell face down in the street, and then it goes into the just as Grandpa Jaffords had known he would, blah blah blah, because
No,
he's
no,
a
no.
gunslinger.
I mean, well, I don't remember Grandpa Jafford saying that.
Oh, I thought about that and didn't care enough to go back to the
Yeah.
calendar and look it up because that's where he was from, right?
I had the same thought. I was like, I could look it up, but
Was Grandpa the one arguing with Tia or who?
Yes,
one of
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
He was the one that
Over
told them
the story about the wolves.
Yeah, that they were robots.
Yeah, because like they didn't talk to each other because I don't know something because
didn't
they killed the
believe
wolf or they some stupid. Yeah, those people are going to be real nice to all the fucking breakers when they show up, aren't they?
He's really relying on Hencheck to make their case.
They're not the most forgiving bunch in the world. I didn't get that impression. So.
Especially for, I mean, they are breakers. It's not like they know the whole story.
I mean, to be fair, like they could make the villagers accept them if they wanted to, right? I mean,
they're like, you want us to keep taking your twins?
I mean, that's nothing compared to ending the universes, right? How hard could it be?
That's true.
Eddie's feel Eddie death from Jake's perspective made me kind of feel it more too.
Yeah.
I want to say I like the way he did that. I don't know if that's the right way to say that, but it was I was really involved. I felt like I was in Jake's head there that whole time.
Well, I mean, because Jake has also been through so much loss. Like, I mean, I guess they all have, but he's so young.
No, I think Jake's been through more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jake was the one that felt Benny Slightman's death the hardest because he was the closest to him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, other than
was he next to him when he blew up?
He wasn't. He saw it. I think. Might have even had. Yeah, I think he got his blood on him.
Yeah, he was like right next to him, right in the sneak cabin. Sorry, Allie, go ahead. No.
Hello.
There you
are. Yeah, were you saying something, Allie?
I wasn't. No.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Jake has definitely again been through more. He's felt more. He's felt more death. He's felt more everything. But it's still so. Man, it's like Eddie, and then Jake too. And then like I was telling Aaron, and then you have this whole weird, like, dreamlike thing with Roland hanging out with his housewife, driving to New York. I guess was the point of all this, and he's like hanging out in the woods, waiting for her to come back.
He had to get to the door leading to FedEx. That was in New York.
Yeah, and he went to the Dixie Pig. Like fuck, I could have got him there by this point. Jesus. And by the way, Shimi died while you weren't paying attention. Like, wait a minute, what? Didn't like?
No, we knew that was going to happen.
I mean,
yeah,
he's been teasing that for a while.
Yeah, but they didn't. Yeah, I guess that's true.
I also did not put together that like the poisoned air getting in the cut on his foot was what was going to kill him. I knew it had something to do with the cut on his foot, but like.
Well, yeah, I guess that's like bacteria, right?
It's like the crocodile hunter getting killed by a stingray. What the fuck?
Well, yeah. What are the chances?
Of as much as Shimi can do, and of all things to take him down. What? You kidding me?
Good thing he lasted until they needed him.
Yeah.
Right? Just long enough. So it's called the Tet breaks because Eddie dies, right? So didn't the Tet actually break when Callahan died then?
Well,
Callahan wasn't officially part of the Tet though.
I thought he was.
Yeah.
I thought he went out of his way to make him like you're like gunslinger and you're part. Well, you're not a gunslinger, but you're in the Tet. Like you're just in. Just don't worry about it.
I feel like he was more part of Ka and like how he was supposed to help them, but he wasn't necessarily like integral to them like getting everything they need to.
My
or maybe he just didn't kill enough people.
Because you know how right before that section he is the part where we stopped and it says now they are quartet for the last time. Like I think he's just referring to, because like this quartet changes constantly. We use this even in the beginning with like Walter. I think he's just referring to that quartet.
The OGs.
Right. So that's right before the chapter.
I think he definitely is. See them very well.
I mean, I know he is, but like I think, whatever.
Oh, and I just finished Dinky's story in Everything's Eventual. So yeah, that's totally. See, now I need to know how I got from there to here. How did that happen?
Don't most of these people apply for the job?
No, they recruit most of them, don't they?
Right, but
he already has a job that he got like psycho recruited for. So it's kind of it's like people, more powerful psychos than them are going to have to come down and squish him.
I thought he was recruited to the short story position, but then I thought they said they had to wrangle him back, and that's part of the reason why he was like so resentful and angry towards them.
Oh, like he escaped like Ted?
Yeah.
Oh.
He escaped and they brought him back and put him in an even worse role.
Yeah, he definitely wrote that after the tower, right? Because Everything Eventual was like, what, 2011, something like that? I think.
No idea.
Interesting. I need, what?
I can't remember. He mentioned something about the tale of. No, I can't remember. He made an aside of like that would make an interesting story, and I remember thinking like, was that a story you wrote or you're gonna write someday?
Oh, it was. Yeah, you bastard! Because you haven't written that story yet. I know what you're talking about. What was that? Like the trip from Ted between,
yeah,
before he went on the run or something. I can't remember. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I know it was something to do with them. Sorry, Allie, what?
I thought he was alluding to Hearts in Atlantis when he said that. I thought it that would make an interesting tale, but he'd already written it and it was the Low Men in Yellow Coat story.
it might have been. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think it was both. One that he wrote and one that he was like, that would make a good story. Maybe if someone should ask Stephen King to do it or some shit like that. It's a little Stephen King in here, but I guess that's I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about it. I guess it works, but where else would you go with it? I mean,
knowing his, affinity, if you will, it's not the right word, but for not the best endings, it's like it feels cheesy at times, but it still works overall, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean it works. It's entertaining. It actually cracks me up, and there's some of those parts you're like, oh, so that really did happen. Like, wait a minute, no, that doesn't mean that. Because like he's in there talking to Roland, drinking a beer or something. Like, I knew it. Like, wait a minute, no, that didn't really happen.
I meant to look up, is that the name of the guy that actually hit him, Brian Smith?
Pretty sure it is, yeah. I was wondering, how that worked, yeah.
Was any of that story true?
I see, that's why it was interesting, because I don't know.
Right.
Or how much of it is like, oh, you broke that 6-7 places. I've never been in no trouble before, ever. Yeah, like all that. I think. Well, he definitely had like. Didn't he have a suspended license or something? I don't remember. No, I don't want to say anything if
He
it's
had
not true. But,
a few things. Not the best driving record, basically.
I like how he wrapped Mr. Tannenbaum in there, like Mr. Tannenbaum with Brian Smith, and then he made him conveniently forget that she was there. But how he like, I think there's parts of that actually did happen, and he kind of wove them together with parts that didn't happen. So I like the way he did that. Okay, what I mean.
I have to say the whole, like all of, I mean, again, I remember a lot of the rest of the story, surprisingly. And so I knew what was happening, but even still, the tension building up to the accident, it was very palpable. I was like, man, like he's very good at that, building the scene and the switching back and forth, and like
Yeah,
somehow it
changing
feels
perspectives, and it inches closer with every perspective. It's just a little
right.
bit further along. I know.
Like,
I was like, oh my god, just get there, just fucking hit him already.
right.
Because I knew he was getting hit, so god damn it.
But then also I was like, but that's when Jake's gonna die.
I know. Like I finished this chapter with what I guess. Why was Susanna going to FedEx? Just I don't really remember what that was about.
Well, that she didn't want. She had to take care of Eddie, and then that's just where she was supposed to meet them because that's where they're gonna come through in New York.
Oh, because she couldn't stay in Bakerville or whatever the hell that was, Algocentric.
Yeah.
And then what was that weird shit where it was actually like bright all the time? You just couldn't tell because of something.
Yeah, I was like, are they implying that happened because they stopped breaking the beams, or is that something else that we're not aware of?
I'm like, yeah, didn't they have like a sun machine to make it daylight? And you're telling me it was actually daylight the whole time?
Yeah, but that was only thunderclap, so like maybe FedEx is different. I don't know.
I thought FedEx was light or brighter.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just assumed it was dark and murky, and maybe that was just me.
Yeah, for some reason I assumed it was like hell, like
like on the edge of a cliff with clouds floating around the bottom or something. A little bit of fog going on.
I mean, I always imagined it to be like foggy, like misty, but I always imagined it as bright.
Okay, well,
I don't know.
Well, how about Susanna getting back on a fucking train that almost kills her again?
Yeah, why would you?
That also happened so fast. I almost was like, what just happened?
And again, we didn't get her perspective. We got told about it after it happened. We're like, where's the Susanna story?
Right.
That would have been terrifying.
More now than ever, no.
I mean, that's part of the problem. We don't get in her head a lot. I mean, I get. Maybe he was just scared to try to go in there too many times. There's a lot going on in her head.
We mentioned the Sunny. You know what else that got mentioned a few times already, which I am like not prepared for, is that apparently it's a little chilly where they are.
Well, we can't really talk about that yet.
No, we don't have to. I mean, it's not a spoiler, just an observation.
It is chilly.
It's supposed to be cold at the tower?
It gets annoyingly cold on their journey.
But I didn't realize it started already. Is what I was
saying. That's what I was saying when we were talking the other day. I was like, oh, they talked about it. Here we go.
Or is it another one of those like the storms in the what's it called? Oh no, it got really hot before that.
You mean the Stark Blast?
Yes. Yeah, I love the name of that thing. Stark Blast. No, it's just we'll get there. We're getting ahead of ourselves. But I was yes, I was also surprised that whether as Fighter and Dandolo, and I'm looking at and how about him like calling out Insomnia like directly, like, hey, you should read this. Like, oh, come on, get it over yourself already.
I did not remember that, and also made me laugh a little bit because we were like, "Man, it's not necessary."
I mean,
does that mean that we're reading it after this?
I mean, that's kind of probably necessary. There's a couple.
To be honest, they pretty much already told you. Well, like, I don't know. We'll see. We can assess after we finish the story, but
the way Insomnia plays out, you don't know that what it's about until near the end, right? You don't actually realize what the whole point of the book is,
right?
So you could read it after this, and
I did totally forget that the main villain is Ed Deepno.
I knew that, and I didn't. I like how he's like well, first of all, he makes all this up, so he's like making connections that he made connections across like made up people.
Right.
I'm like, oh, Deepno, like, oh yeah, like Aaron. Oh, that's gotta be. Wait a minute, he made that up. Like, yeah.
Well, also just the way there's a lot of explaining away his own mind in this section, which I like. Where he'll say like, well, it's probably not actually a relative, but like something that he kept in the back of his mind, and because he's always thinking about the tower. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like he recognizes her. Oh, and how about who was it? Aaron Deepno's niece, like, got the drop on him when he tried to like draw on her. Like, whoa, now.
Because she was wearing loafers.
Still, what's that about? That's not supposed to happen.
That was a joke, yeah.
That'll make it harder, pretty sure. And then, like, he did something, and they did something else, and she like blocked him twice or something. Like, wait a minute, who the hell is this like super ninja? Where did she come from?
This is right after he's lost both Jake and Eddie.
Yeah.
And they were expecting him, and he didn't quite know who he was expecting, or that they were even expecting him.
Who were they expecting? Just him?
I don't know. It's a good question.
That was weird when like Daddy Mose went all like, I don't know. I don't even have like, what's the word for it? Like slang speech. I don't know why. I don't know why he has his characters do that. I can't even understand what he like. I have to read it really slow. Like, I don't see the point in that unless it's just. Say again.
He almost kept flipping back and forth, like, because the daughter even yelled at him. She was like, "Hey, quit that! Like, you know how to speak properly, so speak properly."
Right. Yeah, she was like, "Yeah, stop doing that because you know better." So why was he doing it?
Is that not what do they call that? When it's like, oh my god, what's the word when it's like, huh?
Ebonics?
No. It's like racist, but you don't even realize you're doing. It's like because like that's what when they say. Well, whatever. I don't even feel like getting into it right now.
Or is it reality? Because
I know what you're saying, but yeah.
Someone who would have been older than Susanna would have been what? So she was in the 60s. So born in the 40s. So her uncle would have been what? Born in the 20s, let's say. So is he going for like the reality angle there? Because that's what is that what they really would have acted like? I don't want to go too far. A lot of his, I don't know how to say it. Characters seem to do that, and I don't really understand why. I guess.
Well, that's kind of my point, but
whatever. I'll still keep reading. So, Holly came out today. So those of you who don't know,
it's called Molly.
Holly. Holly Gibney from The Outsider, and what's the book that just came out? That's like 4 stories. She's got a story in there. The one with the Mr. Harrigan's phone, I think. She's one of the stories in there. What's that one called? I forgot.
Is Holly just ebook, or is that like physical book too?
I don't know. Well, I have an audiobook. Amazon is bringing my hardcover book between 7 and 10:15.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then I realized that I didn't have the ebook on my way to the gym, so I had to buy that. And then I turned around because I decided that I didn't feel like going, and I was just going to hang out instead. So I sat here and ate M&M's instead of going to the gym. So I figured that was a fair trade-off. So I did the first like couple pages of Holly. So I like her. She's like a what do they call her? Like borderline autism spectrum character. She's got like super OCD about things. So I like the character. She's fun is the right word, but I enjoy hanging out with her. I guess. Like the way he has her think and the way she does things. It's like Monk almost.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that is OCD. That's not necessarily autism.
Well, that in the description of the book, that's what they called her, like borderline autism spectrum or something.
Okay.
Well, that's vague enough to not mean anything.
That sounds like never mind. I don't feel like getting into it right now. I'm like, borderline is a mood disorder.
Right? It could be. That means we don't know. Borderline snowstorm. 0 to 10 inches.
Did you finish? Oh my God, was this Fairy Tale?
I did finish Fairy Tale.
Okay, I think you
And
mentioned.
I was stuck. Dinky saved me because I had like 3 days to kill before like Holly was released, so I didn't want to start another book. I didn't know what to do, so I just read that. I was like, oh yeah, I totally spaced on that. I don't know how I didn't include that. Must have just I kind of forgot about that story's existence. I mean, it's one of those. Yeah, it's tower related, but it's not. It's more of just a backstory for one of the minor characters.
Yeah,
That's
like,
the only
it's
time
not
we see
integral to
Dinky,
the
right?
story.
He's nowhere else.
I don't think so.
I get him like those mages people confuse me.
His name
sometimes.
really sounds so familiar, so I don't know.
Yeah, like I ran into him somewhere else. I feel like, but I can't. I don't know
Right.
why. So it's not. Yeah, it's kind of like all the other backstory ones. Although I like Parts in Atlantis. Yeah, I like how would Susanna be great? Roll's trying to like he's like thinking about going to meet Susanna. He's like, would she be grateful to see him? He's like, well, because of Roland that Eddie's dead, but it's also because of Roland that you met him in the first place.
Come see, come saw.
Right? Is the journey worth the painful ending?
Better
I
to
mean,
have loved
I
and
don't know.
lost.
I mean, let's be fair about this. How long were they together? 3 months? I mean, come on.
Well, time moves differently, right?
Right. Oh, you're one of them, huh? Time is what's the word? Bendable. What the fuck did I call it? Yeah, time moves differently over here. Yeah, I guess.
I don't even know if it's slower or faster. It's just different.
I think it depends on how you need it to go. But it usually seems to be slower for sure. The world moved on like 1,000,000 years ago, but it was like last week.
And some places
Before.
haven't realized it yet.
Right. And the old one's machinery, yeah, just long enough ago that the machinery still works just long enough for them to use it one more time, no matter what it is. And then after that, they'll never be able to use it again. And it might blow up. There's a good chance.
But those are not a Deus Ex Machina.
No, it's coincidence. They showed up right at the right time. That's just the way that goes. Otherwise, it wouldn't be much of a story, would it? All right. That is the end of the podcast. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.